A lot of people relocating to Pittsburgh have Cranberry Township at the top of their list. What many of them don't realize is just how easy it is to overpay for the wrong house. Same town, same school district, 2 streets apart, $50,000 difference. And the buyers who lose that money never see it coming because they fell in love with the idea of living in Cranberry Township instead of paying attention to the specific neighborhood that they were buying into. So today we're talking about the real pros and cons of moving to Cranberry Township. It's located in southwestern Butler County, just north of Pittsburgh. 3 real pros, 3 real cons from your real estate guide who has spent more than a decade helping families buy and sell homes across Allegheny, Butler, Washington, and Beaver Counties. Hi, I'm Diane McConaghy. My team and I have walked buyers through Cranberry Township, Adams Township, Marshall, McCandless, Wexford, Franklin Park, and every pocket in between. So I can tell you exactly where people get this right and exactly where they get burned. Let's start with the biggest pro of all. You don't have to leave Cranberry Township for work. A lot of suburbs are places where people simply live and then commute somewhere else for work. Cranberry Township is different. Thousands of people actually commute into Cranberry Township every day because so many major employers are located here. You sit right where Interstate 79 and the Pennsylvania Turnpike cross, which is exactly why this township exploded. Downtown Pittsburgh runs roughly 26 minutes on a clear road. Pittsburgh International Airport is right around 30 minutes. Butler, Beaver County, Wexford, and the North Hills are all an easy drive. You're not stuck in one direction. But the part that really matters to you as a homeowner is this. According to Cranberry Township, the community is home to more than 20,500 jobs and over 1,000 businesses. And the township manager has said that more people commute into Cranberry Township than leave it for work. Westinghouse's nuclear operations are here. MSA Safety's world headquarters is here. That's genuinely unusual for a suburb. Why should you care? Because a town with its own job base does not live or die on downtown office trends. When you buy here, your home value is supported by people who work 5 minutes away, not just by people driving into the city every morning. That's a quieter kind of protection, and you feel it most when the market slows down. The growth numbers back it up. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, they estimate that Cranberry Township grew from about 28,000 residents in 2010 to roughly 34,500 in 2023, which is a jump of about 23%. And Butler County has been the only county in western Pennsylvania to grow in population every single year since 2020. Those numbers tell the story. More and more people are choosing to call Cranberry Township home. So what's driving that growth? In my opinion, one of the biggest reasons is the school district. If you ask me why buyers are willing to pay more to live in Cranberry Township, my answer is very simple. Seneca Valley School District. Seneca Valley covers about 100 square miles and serves roughly 7,400 students across Cranberry Township, Jackson, Forward, and Lancaster townships, plus Zelienople, Harmony, Evans City, Callery, and Seven Fields. It's the largest school district in Butler County, and that size is part of the appeal because it supports the sports, arts, and course options smaller districts simply can't fund. Here's something that many people relocating to the area don't realize. Erman Crest Elementary and Middle School right here in Cranberry Township was designed in partnership with the Children's Museum of Pittsburgh, and the building itself is treated as a teaching tool. Time magazine named it one of the 200 best inventions of 2022, and it has picked up national design awards from the American Institute of Architects. That's not a small brag for a suburban public school. I've worked with families who specifically wanted to be in this school district. So what does that mean for you as a buyer? Just because a home is in the Seneca Valley School District doesn't necessarily mean it's assigned to the same elementary or middle school as another home in Cranberry Township. Some neighborhoods feed Hain, some feed Rowan, and some feed Erman Crest. If a particular school is important to you, confirm the assignment for that specific property before you write an offer, because attendance boundaries can change as the district continues to grow. If you're selling a home in Cranberry Township, here's something to keep in mind. Families with school-aged children often try to buy and move during the summer, so they're settled before the new school year begins. If your home is in one of the township's most sought-after elementary school areas and you list it at the right time, that can absolutely work to your advantage, as there are typically fewer buyers shopping around the school calendar later in the year. Schools bring the families. This next one is what keeps them here. Cranberry Township runs its own water and sewer system, and that is a bigger deal than it sounds. In a lot of surrounding areas, you're dealing with a well and a septic tank, which means testing, pumping, and a repair bill that you didn't plan for. Here, you turn on the tap and you move on with your day. Beyond the location and the schools, there's no shortage of amenities in Cranberry Township. The Township Water Park, Graham Park, and the UPMC Passivant Sportsplex, North Boundary Park, the Municipal Golf Course, the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex, where the Penguins practice and where your kids can learn to skate, a library and a senior center under one roof at the Municipal Center on Rochester Road. For families, there's always something to do without having to drive all over the Pittsburgh area. And yes, for everyone who's been asking, Wegmans really is coming. Construction is underway on a new 115,000 square foot store in Cool Springs Drive near the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex. It's expected to open around 2027, and it'll bring around 400 to 500 jobs to the area, adding to the strong employment base that already makes Cranberry Township so attractive. If you've been hearing people talk about Wegmans coming, it's no longer just a rumor, it's actually happening. Now, here is the pro that almost nobody mentions, and it is worth real money to you. The earned income tax in Cranberry Township is 1% of what you earn, no matter where you work, plus a $52 local services tax if you work in the township. Compare that to living in the city of Pittsburgh, where the resident wage tax is triple that amount. If you are relocating with a solid household income and you are weighing a city neighborhood against Cranberry Township, run that number for yourself. It changes the comparison more than most buyers expect every single year that you live here. Home values in Cranberry Township are currently around the $400,000 mark on average. It hasn't been a boom and bust market, and that's exactly what you want. Steady appreciation tends to be much healthier over the long run. So those are some of the biggest reasons that people choose to live in Cranberry Township. But no community is perfect, and before you decide it's the right place for you, let's take an honest look at some of the drawbacks that you should know about. So we've covered some of the biggest advantages of living in Cranberry Township, but before you decide it's the right place for you, there are a few things that you really need to know, because for some buyers, these are the reasons that they ultimately decide to buy somewhere else. If you're finding this video helpful, would you do me a quick favor? Hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss future videos about moving to and living in the Pittsburgh area. Now, let's talk about the first con. The first con is housing affordability. Compared to many other communities in Western Pennsylvania, homes in Cranberry Township come with a higher price tag, so your budget simply won't stretch as far here as it might just one exit away. One thing that confuses a lot of buyers is that you'll often see a different home value depending on which real estate website that you're looking at. That's because they're not all measuring the same thing. Some estimate what homes are worth, some report what homes actually sold for, and others show what sellers are asking. In Cranberry Township's 16066 zip code, those numbers generally fall between the low 400s and the high 400s, depending on what you're looking at. So don't get caught up in the exact number. The important question is what your budget will actually buy. So which one is right? Actually, all of them. They're just measuring different things. Some websites estimate what a home is worth, others report what homes actually sold for, and others show what sellers are asking. On top of that, the 16066 zip code doesn't perfectly match the Cranberry Township boundaries, and because there is so much new construction, a handful of higher priced sales can quickly skew the numbers from month to month. So what does your budget actually buy in Cranberry Township? If your budget is between $300,000 and $350,000, you're generally looking at townhomes, patio homes, condominiums, ranch homes, split entries, and smaller real estate homes built in the 1970s through 1990s. Many of these are well-established neighborhoods, and while they may need cosmetic updates, they can represent tremendous value. They tend to sell quickly because they're one of the most affordable ways to get into the Seneca Valley School District, and there simply aren't that many of them. I'll give you a recent example. I listed a small ranch in Cranberry Township in an older neighborhood where homes typically sell around the $300,000 price. We intentionally priced it to reflect that the buyers would likely want to update the paneling flooring, carpeting, kitchen, and bathrooms. Even with those updates needed, we received 5 offers in just 2 days, and the home sold significantly over the asking price. That's the kind of demand that you can still see for well-priced homes in the Seneca Valley School District. Between about $375,000 and $450,000 is what I consider the sweet spot. This is where you'll typically find the classic 4-bedroom Cranberry Township home in an established neighborhood, usually built in the 1990s or early 2000s. They often have great bones, but maybe the kitchen or bathrooms need updating, and that's where buyers can sometimes negotiate a little more. Once your budget gets above $475,000, you're often competing with new construction, and that changes the conversation. Builders are very active in Cranberry Township, so if a buyer can choose between a brand new home with incentives and warranties or a resale home down the street, that resale home has to compete on price, condition, or both. If you're selling in Cranberry Township, that's something to keep in mind. You're not just competing with the house down the street, you're often competing with a brand new model home offering builder incentives and warranties. Pricing your home correctly from the beginning is one of the most important decisions that you'll make. Now, for the con that surprises people the most. This is one that gets me a panicked phone call. Butler County assesses property based on 1969 values. Yes, you heard that right, 1969. The county has not done a county-wide reassessment in decades, which the commissioners themselves have said limits their options. So the assessed value on your Cranberry Township home is only a small fraction of what you actually paid for it. That doesn't mean your property taxes stay the same forever. While your assessment is still based on 1969 values, the county, township, and school district can still adjust their millage rates, which is why your tax bill can increase over time. Because that assessed value is so low, the millage rates look enormous. When you add together the county, township, and school district millage rates, you're looking at nearly 192 mills. That sounds insane, but remember, you're multiplying those rates against a 1969 assessed value, not the price that you paid for your home. Here's how you estimate the property taxes. Take the assessed value from the county parcel record, divide it by 1,000, and multiply it by the total millage rate. For a typical established Cranberry Township home, that often works out to around $5,000 a year. Newer, larger homes generally have higher assessments and higher tax bills, so you never assume that your taxes will be the same as the current owners. One more thing to keep in mind. In recent years, the Seneca Valley School District has increased its millage rate several times. So even though your home's assessment is still based on 1969 values, your annual tax bill can still go up. That's something that you should factor into your long-term budget. My advice is simple. Before you make an offer, ask your real estate agent to review the property's assessed value and estimate your annual property taxes. It's a quick conversation that can help you avoid an expensive surprise after closing. Now, let's talk about the last con, and it's the one that you'll notice every single day. Cranberry Township's greatest strength is its access, and its biggest daily headache is what that access attracts. The intersection of Route 19, Route 228, and Freedom Road, what most locals know as Crider's Corner, is one of the busiest intersections in western Pennsylvania. If you live just a couple of minutes away, it's incredibly convenient when you're running errands or heading out to dinner. But during rush hour, it's a completely different story. The good news is that PennDOT and Cranberry Township continues to invest in road improvements to help keep up with the area's growth, but construction projects can also mean temporary delays while that work is underway. One thing that surprises a lot of people relocating here is that Cranberry Township is very much a driving community. There is commuter bus service into downtown Pittsburgh, but most people still rely on their cars for everyday life. If you're hoping for commuter rail or extensive public transportation, you're not going to find it here. So do this before you buy, and I really mean it. Drive your commute twice, once on a Saturday afternoon and once on a weekday at the exact time that you'd normally be driving. Two homes can be only a mile apart but have completely different commutes depending on where they're located. I've had buyers change their minds after making that drive, and it's one of the best pieces of advice that I can give you. So after everything that we've talked about, is Cranberry Township the right place for you? After more than 12 years in real estate and helping hundreds of buyers, I can usually tell within a few minutes whether Cranberry Township is the right fit. These are the same questions that I ask my clients. Cranberry Township may be the right choice for you if you have children in school, or they'll be starting school soon, and you want to be in a highly regarded school district. It's also a great fit if you're relocating from a higher cost area and feel like you can get more home for your money than where you're moving from. If you work for one of the many employers in and around Cranberry Township, living close to work can make a lot of sense. If you only commute into Pittsburgh a few days a week, many people find that drive to be a worthwhile trade-off for everything Cranberry Township has to offer. And if you're looking for a newer home with less maintenance, you'll find plenty of options here. There are also many older, well-established neighborhoods with ranch homes, split entries, and two-story homes that can offer excellent value. Finally, if you're downsizing, Cranberry Township has a variety of patio homes, convenient shopping, excellent medical facilities nearby, and just about every service that you could need within a few minutes. Now, let me tell you who might want to look somewhere else. If your budget tops out around $325,000 and you're looking for a larger yard or more square footage, you'll probably find better options in communities like Zelian-Opal, Harmony, Evans City, Moon Township, Robinson Township, or North Fayette. If keeping property taxes as low as possible is one of your highest priorities, there are neighboring communities that may be a better fit. If you're looking for a walkable downtown with historic homes and tree-lined streets, Cranberry Township may feel a little too new. Communities like Sewickley, Mount Lebanon, or Peters Township might be more your style. And if you're looking for acreage, privacy, or a more rural setting, you may want to consider Adams Township, Marshall Township, or parts of Beaver County. Finally, if you want to rely on public transportation instead of driving, Cranberry Township probably isn't the right choice. None of that makes Cranberry Township better or worse than any other community. It simply means that it's the perfect fit for some people and not the right fit for others. If you're not sure which category you fall into, I'd be happy to help. Tell me about your budget, tell me about your commute, your lifestyle, and what's important to your family. If Cranberry Township is the right fit, I'll tell you. If I think that you'd be happier somewhere else, I'll tell you that too. My goal isn't to sell you a house in Cranberry Township. It's to help you find the right home in the right community. So is Cranberry Township the right place for you? If you're looking for excellent schools, a strong local job market, outstanding parks and recreation, convenient shopping, and a community that continues to invest in itself, Cranberry Township deserves to be at the top of your list. On the other hand, if you're looking for the lowest home prices, the lowest property taxes, a historic downtown, or a lifestyle where you don't have to rely on a car, there are probably better options nearby. After helping buyers and sellers throughout Western Pennsylvania for more than 12 years, here's my opinion. Cranberry Township has never been the least expensive place to buy a home, and it probably never will be. But for many people, the schools, amenities, convenience, and quality of life make that extra investment well worth it. The key is making sure that you're buying the right home in the right neighborhood for your lifestyle and for your budget. If you're thinking about relocating to the Pittsburgh area, I've put together a free Pittsburgh relocation guide to help you compare communities, school districts, commute times, and much more. You'll find a link in the description below. And if you like my honest opinion about whether Cranberry Township is the right fit for you, or whether another community might be a better choice, I'd love to help. You can call, text, or email me. I respond to every inquiry, and there's never any pressure, just honest advice. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you'd give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every week about moving to, living in, and buying real estate throughout the Pittsburgh area. And if affordability is your biggest concern, watch this next video where I share some of the best places around Pittsburgh where your housing dollars go the furthest. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.